Welcome back to the Stretford Sessions, everybody. This is the Manchester United podcast we bring you each and every week on the Upper Tier YouTube. Head over there, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Joining me tonight for a match reaction and player ratings, the Man United cast from the old DPN network. Joining me, as always, my partner on the show is Darren. How are we?
Tonight's show is sponsored by the Samaritans. Feel free to call anytime you feel like you're going to jump off a fucking bridge.
Absolutely. Also joining me tonight from Retrotainment and Retrotainment Recast, the boys Ted and Greg. How are we, lads?
Don't forget on the slab.
Oh, and on the slab as well. I was gonna do an extra one for on
Feel like I'm on the fucking slab.
Well, this team
like Harry Maguire, the slab head cunt.
Oh man, alive.
Well, man, this is your show. Where do we start?
Let me ask, how many curse words can we use in an episode before we get banned?
You can use as many as you want because we're not monetized.
Bollocks, fuck, cunt.
Yeah. And he's only talking about Aaron Wan-Bissaka now. He hasn't even moved on to anyone else.
Darren, kick us off.
Referee was great. Can't complain about him this week, in fairness. You know.
I can. Why did he not book Fred in the 90th minute?
Greg needed a yellow.
Greg needed a yellow, he did.
All I needed was a yellow.
I thought, like, you know, the first half was decent. I was really surprised how we came out and went at them, you know. Like, we're at the empty head. We're controlling the ball. We're creating chances. I'm going, is everything all right here? Like, what's, you know, now obviously we've coughed up the 2 goals, and they've driven everything down that left-hand side. There must have been a big red marker around that right back zone and went, lads, that's where we're going. See our man here with the braids, you know, turns like the QE2, yeah? And most of the time when he's supposed to be there, he's waiting on the taxi about fucking 3 miles up the other end of the pitch.
He's back in Old Trafford in the right back position.
Fucking hell, man. I'd say he's marking a bleeding corner flag somewhere. It was horrific, some of it. But, like, again, in the first half, I thought we were in with a shoe. It was only until, you know, when the ref blew the whistle for that second half, the tide just turned. It was absolutely abysmal.
I mean,
abysmal.
Also, that's been United the most case over the last 6 or 7 weeks. It's only a 45-minute appearance that you get from them. Now, apart from, I know we were at the 0-0 at Watford. They played okay. They played quite well. Just didn't score. And that's Watford. But
they did play well, in fairness to them, against Watford, you know?
Yeah, but
again, 22 chances created. What else do you want? Yeah. You know, the problem is you only hit the target 3 times. Like,
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, it's apart from that game, really, it's only been a 45-minute. We showed up for what, 25 minutes against Atletico, Middlesbrough 45 minutes, Burnley 45 minutes. What more? You can't play like that against City. Like,
Greg, what do you think that is? What's been happening with United that it's not 70, 80, 90 minutes, that it's 45 minutes?
They're feeling too entitled, I think. Oh, we should just go and win this game because we are who we are. There's too many superstars, too many bad attitudes in the club.
I think there's a massive issue with the levels of fitness and with going into games where you're 11v11, but we're really only playing with 8 men because 2 or 3 of them are carrying them as passengers. And this league is far too good to carry passengers when you're going to City, when you're going to Liverpool, when you're going to Chelsea. Even against poor sides, you can't be going in and carrying lads. And we've been carrying a lot of players this season, an awful lot of players. You know, Jesse Lingard left the club months ago in his head. He's been absolutely brutal. Marcus Rashford is still feeding kids and thinking about, is me mate going to get locked up? Is me mate going to get locked up? Is me mate going to get locked up? Yes, Marcus, he is. Get the fuck on with it because it's affecting you. It's affecting your performance. It's affecting your team. And it's affecting our fucking league position. Do you know?
He hasn't been the
same. Pogba knows he's out there. Pogba couldn't give a fiddler's. Pogba knows, sure, come the summer, I'm out here anyway. Who the fuck is to get Champions League squad spots? Look at him, how I'm strolling around. Like, absolutely strolling. That'll tell you how bad he is. And that'll tell you what Ranić knows about him, right? When we were in the shitter today, he says, "I'll stick this big stocking up top and see if we can get something to stick off him and maybe play in and around him."
So that he played all right in the first half.
Oh, I thought he was pony, man. I thought he was absolutely pony.
I thought he was dropping deep, he was getting space.
And fucking De Bruyne was getting on the ball. He
I was
fucking
surprised.
shy.
I was surprised at your comments at halftime, Darren. I thought Pogba did all right. I thought he was creating a bit of stuff and he was moving around, and a number of tackles he got stuck into as well, where I wouldn't expect him to get stuck into. I thought he did okay. Now I don't think he was exceptional around him, but
no, I don't. I wouldn't have said that there was no one really that good for United bar De Gea, and he conceded 4. So I mean, it could have been 7 if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, I suppose apart from Sancho, maybe was there anyone over a 5? And we'll get into it.
Fred or Scott, maybe.
I wouldn't have even given for Sancho. You know, I think he took the goal very well, but I think outside of the goal, it was one of his poorer performances. I
don't think so. I think he was trying to get things to happen. No one was up with him. It's very hard when you're isolated against Kyle Walker and Diaz or
it kind of developed that way, didn't it, Ted? When you were watching it on screen, it looked as if it was like 14 players versus 10 or something like that. Because every time a United player picked up a ball, like there was 3 or 4 City players around them instantly. Elanga in the first half was just ganged up on constantly with 3 guys over there on that right side.
Gary Neville said that exact thing. He said, "Looks like City have about 15 players."
Yeah, I would agree. Sorry, yeah, I would agree. Like, I get where Darren's coming from with Pogba. Pogba is a very lethargic looking player. Every time, you know, he even when he's running full pelt, he looks like he's not trying. So I do see where Darren's coming from in that he looks very lazy. But I think that's just how he looks when he plays. I actually think he did have a decent enough first half. I don't think he was amazing, and for the talent he has, I don't think he was living up to that talent. I don't think he ever really does. I mean, even when people talk about how good he is in the French squad and stuff, I think he's very similar in the French squad. He's just surrounded by such talent that it makes up for him being like that.
Yeah.
I think he's very entitled to how good he is. He knows he's that good, so he doesn't have to put the effort in, which is different. And like, people can say what they want about him for the moment. And I've been critical of him as well. Cristiano Ronaldo, for us, since he's returned, he's not the player he used to be. But when he had that talent, when he was a bit younger, he put in the effort as well, and that's what Pogba lacks. He has the talent, but he doesn't have the heart, the desire, the will to be the best in the world. He just accepts that he is, and he doesn't put the effort in, which is what, you know, if anyone else put in the performance he did today, you might say they had a good game, but knowing how much he can do is what lets him down. And then the rest of the team, I don't know. Yeah, Elanga was isolated up top, but I think that's a formation issue. I think you need to be going 2 up top against this City team. Unfortunately, I just don't know if we have 2.
He did go 2 up top though. He went Bruno and Pogba, which was the problem. He played Bruno and Pogba as the two furthest players forward, and tried to get Bruno to do all the hassling and the harrying, and get the ball to stick in at Pogba so he could play. Because they played Sancho and Elanga as 2 wide players.
Yeah, play off.
It was 4-4-2, but you're putting Pogba in there because you know he hasn't got the physicality to do it in the midfield, because he's going to get overrun by Rodri, by De Bruyne, by anyone that picks the ball up. Like, do you know what I mean? And as you're saying, the kid has so much talent and ability, but another massive issue we have at that United squad is talent is only worth the paper it's written on. Unless you have application and you're going to put the work in, don't bother. Because if you look at the talent we have in the squad and look at the shy football we play at times, you can see that where the issue's coming. Guys aren't putting their heart and their fucking soul on the line with the club. Marcus Rashford looks fucking dead.
He can fuck off to God knows.
Dead.
He wouldn't get onto the Bray Wonder stage at this stage.
No, he wouldn't. And that's not a fucking stretch. Honest to God.
Yeah, when I seen Rashford, that ball that they played over the top and he was running onto it, and I think it was who tracked back and just ghosted by him.
Cancelo.
Was it Cancelo? And he just ghosted straight by him.
He's not slow either, though, mind you, but...
Rashford's meant to be lightning.
But Rashford looked like he hadn't ran in weeks. Like, I mean, he just
Rashford hasn't ran in a season and a half. Will you stop?
Yeah,
fucking
absolutely.
Useless cunt can fuck off to God knows where. I couldn't care less where he goes. I'd as much rather play nobody than bring him on. I'd play with 10 men quicker than bringing him on.
Yeah, it was
do you know what I'd have done? And again,
I'd brought Hannibal on.
I'd have either brought Hannibal on because at least you'd either got around the place, or I'd have brought someone clever on. I'd have brought Mata on to try and maintain possession of the fucking ball rather than us end up chasing it every 5 minutes because the lads were kicking it ahead of them, couldn't get near it, and then we go back on the bleeding defensive again.
I think I would have even brought Matic on, right? Yeah. But when they brought Pogba off, we were 2-1 down, needed a goal, right? So they made the change. That was fine. bringing Rashford on, you might as well have brought no one
It
on.
was 3-1 down when Pogba went off.
3-1, sorry, 3-1 down.
at that stage, yeah.
You need a goal, right? Pogba is going to create more than either Fred or McTominay. So take one of them off and move Pogba back into the middle.
I
know he's going to get battered. No. We were getting battered anyway at that stage, so it didn't matter.
No, I think there's a worry there, and I think the worry is that if you take Fred or McTominay off, and they're screening that back four, if you take them off, then you're leaving Lindelof, who I don't think had a particularly awful game. He got done. He got
torn, yeah.
He got done for the second goal, but I don't think he had an absolutely awful game. And Maguire, who has been poor for
who did an awful game.
He's been poor for quite some time and had a fucking stinker. And now, Greg can tell you, I was steaming in the fucking pub about that second goal. What the fuck are you doing a step over for in your own fucking box when it's rebounded off the keeper? Do not step over that unless you're hearing a fucking big shout from someone that they're going to take it. Put that out for a corner. If they score from the corner, that's one thing. Doing a fucking step over when a ball that's rebounding from your keeper saving it so that it goes to a City player, they can just pass it off and be tapped into the net. What the fuck are you playing at?
Yeah, it's kind of mad to think that Maguire on the pitch and Boye and Jones are on the bench, isn't it? When you think about when they've come in, how they've done.
We should have. I spoke to you obviously before kickoff. There's no way we should have been playing anything other than 5-2-3 or 5-3-2 there today. We should have had 5 centre backs, or 3 centre backs, especially knowing we didn't have Varane, who's our best centre back. You got to put Maguire in the middle, and you got to put somebody with pace either side of him. Let him do the communicating. Let the lads try and link in with the 2 fullbacks. Again, why Wan-Bissaka's playing, I don't know. It got to the stage where we spoke about Wilfred Zaha was nailing David Moyes' daughter or something. Well, the law was obviously dipped. Someone belonged to Ralph, because in the last few weeks, he's been overlooked every game. And we're like, he was just getting himself into the team. He just started to look like the player that we thought we bought a couple of years ago. And all of a sudden, he's been pied off on the sideline again. He should have had Dalot, and he should have had Telles, and he should have had 2 centre-backs beside Maguire and packed out the midfield and tried to put Bruno up front with maybe Sancho and have the press from there. But leaving it that exposed is fucking nuts, like.
Do you remember we played that against Chelsea this season?
Yeah.
And that's how Sancho got his goal, because they chased down the thing. It worked well when you have one player with pace and one that'll create up front. Now, I was generally surprised we didn't play 5 at the back. And I think if Varane had been fit, they might have.
I think you can drop Scott in there though if you want. Like, he does that for.
I wouldn't put Scott McTominay in there. I know he does it for Scotland, but that's only when people are injured. He doesn't start for Scotland.
Plus, international football is far slower than the pace of the Premier League. Let's not forget.
No, I understand that.
There was a comment during the game as well that they reckoned that Scott was still sick. He was coming back off an illness, and that maybe they were forced into playing him. That he was probably still ill. I don't think they wanted to play Matic. That's why. Yeah, and I think looking at McTominay as well, that's probably one of the worst games he's had in a United jersey, which is kind of somewhat a bit unfair to judge him that way, coming back off an illness if he's still ill and he's being pushed in there,
I don't think he was any worse than most of them, I have to say.
No, but I mean, in terms of his previous performances, I think this is one of his worst outings in the United jersey. And I'm wondering, is it the fact that he was still ill, coming back off his illness, and they just needed him because of what happened with Varane and with Shaw and with Ronaldo? I think we're going to hopefully benefit now. Obviously, the Liverpool game's called off next week. Is it next week? Yeah.
Next week? Yeah. It's called off next week. So now we're not playing up until we play Atletico now.
That's not right. No, we're playing Brighton.
And we Spurs on Saturday afternoon.
Spurs on Saturday evening, 5:30, isn't it?
Sorry, that's right. Yeah,
the following week it is.
Yeah,
the following week it was.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm a week ahead here.
Sorry, talking on Scott though, like. I get where Niall's coming from. I don't think, and I get where you boys are coming from. I don't think he had a particularly bad game, but just in comparison to the games that Scott does have. And he's sort of the complete opposite of Pogba, because when you're talking about a player with all the talent in the world, that's Pogba. Scott doesn't have all that talent, but what he does have is that heart, drive, determination to fucking go out there and have a game. And that's what he does. Like, every game he plays, there's fucking passion in it.
I'd happily have 3 McTominays and play 3 in midfield. Quite happily.
That's what you were saying there about players not having all the talent and not doing it. When we were winning titles, you had a Ji-sung Park in there that done all the donkey.
John O'Shea, Fletcher, a Rodrigo Casaubon.
We had
Ji-sung Park's a little bit different because he did have fucking talent. Like he was a little bit different.
He was
But
only, to be fair, now that's the thing. Ji-sung Park wasn't an overly special footballer.
No.
No, but he had
was-
more.
but
But
I'd
the
say he had
job
around
he
him
was
to the
able
boys.
to do for the team
Yeah.
was particularly special.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean.
But as a baller,
that
I
wings
mean,
you,
at
yeah.
times we used him as a blocker. You know, he was
Remember,
told to go in and
I'll
sit
never
on
forget
Pirlo.
that one. Yeah,
and
that
don't
one
let him
against
take a
Pirlo,
touch,
and he had Pirlo make 27 passes in the game, and that's all he got against AC
And
Milan.
I think 22 of them are backwards. It was
Yeah.
something sick. Like it was.
Yeah,
fucking-
it was. No, but I think he.
Three Lungs Park.
I think on his I think naturally he probably had a bit more talent than the likes of Scott does. But yeah, Scott would be very similar to John O'Shea. I mean, like I love
Scott
John O'Shea.
McTominay's a fucking way better footballer than John O'Shea.
No,
John
but you know
O'Shea's a
what I
hack
mean?
compared to Scott McTominay.
No, but
Fact.
what I mean is
Not
that,
having
you
that.
know, no, but what I mean is that he'll do any job you ask him to. Like there'll be no complaints.
Oh, he'll
after
play-
him.
he'll play
He's a
wherever, yeah.
professional. He's a professional.
Yeah.
Lovely. Now we're getting to the root of the problem. So we've allowed a cunt who aren't professional then. That's another fucking issue we have. Not only have we got square pegs in round holes, but we've got fucking Billy Big Balls over the sideline saying, well, I only want to go on if I'm playing up front, Gaffer. And if I'm not playing up front, I'm not going to put my fucking effort in. Get the fuck off. Look at the fucking jersey you're wearing. Look at what this fucking club had to go through
number
to
9
be where
jersey.
you were.
Yeah, I laughed today, I think, in the first half in commentary. After De Bruyne scored the first goal, which was just a calamity of stuff. And it went
Again,
to, and it went
Wan-Bissaka.
but it went to the United bench, and it showed Rashford and Lingard and Mata.
And Mata.
They were
Yeah, that's
having a
right.
laugh, yeah.
And they were in deep conversation discussing this, that, and the other and all. And I was listening to one of the channels out there, and they were saying they have plenty to say when they're not having grass under their feet or something like that. But when they've grass under their feet, they've nothing to say.
Yeah.
And it was just an interesting conundrum. And then
Two absolute poisonous cunts in the club.
Did Jesse Lingard touch the ball when he came on?
I don't
Once.
think so.
I'm not 100% sure if he did.
I
I think
genuinely
he touched it once.
maybe a tip off or something.
Do you remember he tried to do that little backheel pass?
he also went to pick up a ball, didn't he, on the right? And the Man City player picked up the ball and actually circled right around him and went by him. And it was like slow motion, like Chariots of Fire it was. And I was thinking, where's the Jesse Lingard that was playing for the Hammers?
He is a poisonous cunt. And once, now, I don't know what manager, whether it was Solskjaer that told him or when Ragnick came in and they told him, you get the fuck off social media and you get your head down now. And like, he can fuck off. I don't care about losing him for free. I give him away for free.
The problem is he's not.
You can take
he's not
Rashford with him as well.
Lingard's not awful. He's
And
not.
Pogba.
He's not at
Yeah,
that level,
Pogba too.
and he doesn't.
I
I
want
still
to
think he'll
be
sign a
here.
new deal though.
I pray to the Lord Jesus, Allah, and anyone else that will fucking listen that he doesn't.
I would not be surprised if he signs a new deal.
Who, Pogba?
I tell you
Yeah.
what, if
With
he
United?
signs
Yeah.
if he signs a
that's
new
a big
deal,
call,
right?
isn't it?
If he signs a new deal, that'll tell you how much his stock has fallen in world football that he would re-sign with us.
Who's gonna sign him?
That's my point. Everybody else is looking at him going, too much to have in a team. We can't have a team with this country because we haven't got fucking,
You need
you'd
Kante. You
need
need to buy
three
Kante.
N'Golo fucking Kantes so you could fit a Paul Pogba into your fucking team.
Yeah, that
Like,
was really the underlining message today, wasn't it? The actual work rate
Yeah.
around the pitch. When you see the City players, I mentioned it on the WhatsApp group when we were watching it, like the interchanging and the movement and the wanting to get on the ball and the want to take responsibility on the pitch was outstanding.
Well,
And then
Three
when
and four,
United-
3-4 1 up, and they're running guys down the corner flag.
yeah.
Well, that's what I even said.
And we've guys
in
not
the
putting
group
tackles
chat.
in the box.
And not only that, you have Pep on the sideline as well, encouraging them to do more and more and more and more. Like, you
Well, like
know what I mean?
I think I responded to you when you said that. I says it's great to see that in football, whether it was against United or not.
Yeah.
It's great to see teams actually trying to play correctly.
Oh yeah,
So, I mean,
watch it.
you don't
like
take
that.
their foot off the gas.
Yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
listen, we're all football fans, like it's annoying that it's City. I'd prefer if it was United playing like that, but that's the way football should be. Like if you think about 10, 20 years ago or whatever, United when we were 2-1 down, right, we were still battling. The second that third goal went in, all the players basically down tools. Like none of them were chasing the ball down or pushing for it. Could you imagine that happening under Fergie? We go 3-1 down against City. Not a fucking hope. Everyone would still be fighting for every fucking ball there. And that's what's happened here. The players are just not fighting. Rashford came on and he was fucking like strolling over to fucking Kyle Walker to try and take the ball off. And Kyle Walker was already at the halfway line, sure.
There's a serious, and I mean serious, lack of fear in the dressing room.
Yeah.
There's no, like, listen, if I'm in that dressing room, there's a couple of cunts getting fucking put into a chokehold after that game today. I'm sure Ralph must be telling them, well, boys, that performance, it wasn't good enough, but go home and I'll see you in the morning. I'm not joking you. Honest to God, I'd even have to take it out in a fucking paddy wagon because I'd have punched lumps out of half the cunts out there today because they didn't show any fucking heart. They didn't show any fucking desire. They didn't show any love for the fucking badge. Everything today was about themselves. Self-indulgent little pricks out there. All they are fucking mercenaries. Nobody out there today played for the fucking jersey, played for the badge, or played for them, or played for the lads that fucking, that have gone before them and the history of our fucking club. Fucking disgraceful.
You really need to start again now. Just get rid of as many as you can and start again.
Like
we said in the pub, Ted, that there was a few you'd keep.
Yeah, I'd say you'd keep a good few of them. But what needs to happen is now, I haven't watched it yet, but Netflix are after bringing out a document, like a little series on the Busby Babes, and there's the fucking Rooney thing on Amazon. Forget about training tomorrow, boys. Get them in. You're going to sit down, you're going to watch that Rooney documentary where he talks, and I don't know if you boys have watched it yet, but Rooney talks about when he used to come home from a loss and he'd lock himself in his room for 3 days and fucking basically be depressed for 3 days. Now, I don't want that in a player. I don't want that to be the case. Like, it shouldn't be.
I'm fine with it.
But it shouldn't be sending you spiraling to that. Be annoyed, be fucking upset. But like, I don't want it affecting your health. But that's the sort of desire you need to have if you're going to play at this sort of top level. And I haven't watched that Busby Babes, but I'm going to assume that it talks about the passion and stuff of all the players. These boys need to sit down and watch that. And anyone who's not fucking looking at that going, that's what I need to be like. Fuck off out. But
that's a different world now, Ted, isn't it? Like, I mean, I know, but Darren, what I'm saying is there's an expectation that when a player goes out there that he gives you 120%, that he'll run through a wall. We spoke about it on the shows, what Graham Potter gets out of his players, what Ralph Hasenhüttl gets out of his players, and various different managers like that. Eddie Howe at the moment with Newcastle. He has players
did it as well. I mean, they were losing, but those players had run through a brick wall for the cunt.
Yeah, but it's a different brick wall they were running through.
they were knocking the centre-back brick wall down.
But what I'm saying is, if you look at what's happened at United, is, as Darren has said as well, over a number of years, a certain entitlement has come in there. Guys have become very rich, very comfortable. Social media has really taken over their lives. And it's personal brand. Yeah, and the thing about it is, I mean, you look at Harry Maguire, who had an absolute howler today. There's no doubt about it. And look, it's been symptomatic with him nearly most of the season. That guy's probably sitting down tonight to a lovely 4-course meal with a glass of wine with his wife. Does he really care? Does he actually really care?
I'd say there's point. 2 people on that team, maybe 3, that care that they lost tonight. De Gea is one of them.
McTominay, Bruno, and De
Gea. I'd say Elanga does, to be
fair. I would have said Fred as well.
I would have said Elanga does
Fred,
as well.
So then there's more than 3, because we could, because even there are lads, but there's an awful lot of lads that don't. Rashford's gonna sleep like a baby tonight. Lingard's gonna sleep like a baby. Pogba's gonna sleep like a fucking baby. It's not gonna come between them and a sleep. It'll come between fucking me and my fucking sleep, right? Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I don't think it'll come between him and a sleep. I have to be honest with you. I think he could get the fucking that virgin train he got from fucking London. He could get back on the fucking thing and head back down. Shocking.
Do you know something? Lindelof is someone I think who would care.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
and as I said, he got done for the second goal, but other than that, I don't think Lindelof did.
And it wasn't even it was being done, but it was a good bit of skill as well.
It was, yeah. Like I'm not taking that away from Phil Foden.
No.
That was my point. Like, I'm not saying I want players locking themselves into a room and getting fucking depressed for 3 days after a loss. But I want the boys to fucking be upset. Like, Rooney was upset when he used to lose games. Ronaldo, even now, Ronaldo comes off and he's in a fucking bad mood. Ronaldo's not playing all that well. But he's a
stroppy cunt anyway.
Yeah, but
he's not in a bad mood because he lost the game. He's in a bad mood because he didn't score and after the stats. So when he hangs up his boots, someone can go, "Oh, Cristiano, you're the greatest of all time." He goes, "Oh, thank you." Huh?
No, I know that. But
lads, if you look what's going,
feeling that way.
Yeah, but if you look at what's going on at the moment, Ted, the boys will be the lads will be in training tomorrow, and they'll be posting training pictures on their social media.
Laughing.
One team, all back together, all this kind of crap that's been going out for months. Absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's...
Did Darren slip away there?
Don't know.
Just having a drink.
He's having a drink. He's calming himself down. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know what the fix is. I don't know if you brought in, I don't know if you signed Declan Rice, would anything change? I don't know what the fix is because there's so many problems.
It comes from the top down. It's a managerial thing because they have to know that they can't walk into that dressing room after the game. They have to want it. They need to be walking down that tunnel and be looking for exits going, I need to get out one of these exits because I can't go into this fucking dressing room because this cunt's going to go fucking through me.
And he ain't
that guy. Absolutely.
You know who I think would bring it in now? It's not the type of appointment I'd want to see, but Simeone would be one that would come in and you'd be generally afraid that he'd kill you coming into the dressing room.
Yeah,
but I just wonder with these players, I wonder would, even if Simeone was there, let's say, or another hot-headed lunatic, whoever it might be, would they still care? I mean, what are they going to do? They'll walk into the dressing room, he'll stand in the middle of the floor, shout his head off. I mean, we've seen some of the videos when Pep is in the dressing room and City haven't had a very good result and he's dancing around and he's going through it and he's going ballistic and he's pointing at guys and this, that, and the other. You did this and you should do that. Remember when they took the break for 3 minutes when one of the fans took a bit ill? At the game.
Is that what that was it?
Yeah, and Pep is around all his players and he's giving them socks and he's talking to Grealish about what he wants him to do. Grealish is getting a drink of water.
And he turned to move twice and
he pulled him back by the
jersey and pulled him back.
Back by the arm.
Fucking do what I'm telling you to do. Did Ralph do that?
And the three guys at the back, Darren, as well. Remember, he had Cancelo, I think, and Laporte and John Stones, and he had the three of them in a huddle, and he was giving them socks about what he wanted them to do. And this is City who were in control of the game. Like, it was crazy. You know what I mean?
You can see that from... City went in 2-1 up, right? Half-time, 2-1. That was a different City team that came out in that second half.
They were 100 times better.
They only scored another 2 goals, and we weren't great. But they came out and they made it. Like, I don't know if we dropped off or they stepped up, but I think
we dropped up fucking way.
It was a combination of the two as well, because Pep turned that dial up big time. Because I'm telling you now, I lay you out, Pep went into that dressing room at half time and he absolutely tore into them at 2-1. There's no, and I'd say Ralph walked in at 2-1 and went, all right, boys, we might have a chance here now getting out of here with a draw.
Absolutely.
That was my point, that they walked into that dressing room 2-1 up. You know, you should be happy enough. You're 2-1 up against your fucking rivals. And Pep went in and he was like, not fucking lads. These boys, like, we're fucking way better than these. Get out there and fucking hammer them around. And I don't think bringing in someone like Simeone would change the attitude.
I think it would change the attitude of the players.
No, it wouldn't. See, the problem is it's the players we have. Like,
there's a whole
Pogba,
it's not going to change overhaul Rashford. Before you know. Like,
go out and buy.
You're right. We need both.
Yeah, we do need someone like that. But I'm saying it doesn't matter what manager we get in. It's not going to change Rashford's. It's not going to change how he fucking reacts to things. It's not going to change Pogba's. It's not going to change Lingard's.
No.
You need to go out and, like, listen. Go out. I know we're a big club and, you know, we can buy these big name signings. Fuck that. Go out and buy some shitty fucking lad worth for 20k, if he's going to put the fucking effort in.
Yeah, you're better off nearly going and trying to find the next young Mark Noble or something like that, or someone who's going to wear the badge and give a fuck, like, you know what I mean? And someone who's going to put a fucking shift in for you week in, week out and stuff like that. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking to sign the next guy who's going to be the next TikTok model or the next fucking Instagram head or the next whoever the fuck it is. You're looking for a guy who wants to put on a set of boots like Rooney, who learned football on the street and loves nothing but fucking football. And
loves mixing it.
Yeah, and the wealth just came as part of the talent. It was just there. But Rooney would be still playing football whether he got paid $1 or got paid 2 million. Absolutely. It wouldn't matter. He loved his football. And that's the problem there at the moment. The problem for United at the moment is, it's, as Darren said, it's who's the next brand we can bring in. We've brought in all those brands. Most of those brands have come in and have gone to shite, most of them.
Something you've talked about a few times was, Niall, and you've mentioned it a few times, has been we've become accustomed to, and we've become happy with mediocrity. We're accepting of mediocrity now. As a Man United fan, to think that we're turning around and we're saying top 4 to be great.
Yeah.
That
top
tells you
be great
the attitude that tells you the attitude of the club. That tells you the attitude of the players. Now, here's the thing. What's your margin for error there, right? If all you were thinking about is, we need to get top four, we need to get top four, we need to get top four, you're aiming for that fourth spot. You miss it by a spot, you end up in fifth, you're fucked, right? We need to be going into the season thinking, we need top two. We need top two. Then you have a little bit of a margin for error that, well, if we drop off a space or two, we still get what we're after. But don't be sent your goal for, we need top four, we need top four. Because if you miss top four by an inch, you're in the fucking Europa on a fucking Thursday night getting shelled in fucking Ukraine. Fuck that.
Yeah, I just think a club the size of United, and I know there's a massive transition going on, and I know a lot of stuff has gone wrong over the last time since Fergie went and stuff like that and all. But a club like Man United every season should be there going. Their expectation should be that they're in a title race.
Absolutely.
It should be, without a shadow of a doubt.
That squad should have been good enough to get into the title race.
Yes.
Yeah, but it unraveled very quickly, Ted.
Very
Greg, didn't it?
Very
quickly it unraveled.
It actually unraveled quicker than anyone would have expected.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought we might have got to Christmas, January time, and it showed that Solskjaer wasn't good enough. A lot of the players weren't good enough, and a lot of the players did throw him under the bus as well. Now, I was always very critical of Solskjaer because I never wanted him.
I honestly think he was already under the bus with just his ankles hanging out, and they just kicked his ankles in under the bus.
No, I get that. He should have gone in the summer anyway.
I think there's a question there, though, because, listen, I'm not saying Solskjaer was the man for the job, right? But we've brought in this man who's meant to be this fucking messiah of football. We're not getting much better under him either.
No, but you won't get much better unless
Because
he changes the personnel he has to work with. So
Yeah,
it is a combination of the two.
Yeah,
He
so
had
like
to-
I
he'd
think
have to have
Solskjaer
two
got
transfer windows to get there.
Solskjaer got a little bit fucking done by the fact that, you know, he got
Yeah, but
he
don't
was still
forget,
took all these
Solskjaer
players.
made an awful lot of signings.
He did, yeah.
So
no,
he
and
brought an awful lot of guys in to go and play football. We were absolutely tactically inept under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
no,
We've
we
no
weren't,
style of play. We've no formation. We've no nothing. We've
He also-
seen more. We've seen more from
we did have a formation. It was a dinosaur formation.
right. We've seen more under Rangnick in the fucking 20 games he's had, and we've seen at times what he's trying to do works. But his issue is, and we're either between the rock or the hard place. We've either got the manager and not the players, or we've got the players and not the manager. So we need that perfect storm. I only got a notification the other day on Facebook. It tells you where you were so many years ago. And I had a post up, and it was about a United Liverpool game. Brendan Rodgers was at Liverpool, I think it was. And I think I wrote up after the game. He was a 0-0 draw at Anfield. And what I wrote underneath it was about, one of those teams has a really good squad with a shit manager, and the other one has a really good manager with a shit squad. It was Liverpool had the good manager and the shit squad. It was United had the good squad and the shit manager. I think it was under Mourinho maybe. And nothing has fucking changed. We've only ever had one or the other. We haven't had both. We haven't had a manager who could go and win you a title, who had fucking tactics, who had a formation, who had a style, who could fucking put a print on a team. And we haven't had the players because we've thrown big bucks at fucking lads who thought they were Johnny Big Balls, Billy fucking Big Balls, and any other fucking big balls. And not one of them ever once wanted to pull on the jersey and play for that fucking badge.
So I suppose from your point of view, I mean, how do you, I know there's no easy fix, but how do you fix this? Because you're not just suddenly going to go and release 8 players and bring 8 players in. You know what I mean? It doesn't, like, I know it needs a massive overhaul. I mean, talking to you guys,
Ukraine works out for me.
Yeah, but I mean, talking to you guys tonight, I mean, is there does 5, maybe 6 players you'd want to hang on to? Maybe 7? Out of the 15 or the 16, maybe. So like
out of today's 19, yeah. There's 8 subs, isn't there? We 8 subs and fucking 11.
Like that, yeah.
So we've 19, right? You keep De Gea, yeah. Wan-Bissaka can go. You keep Lindelof, Maguire can go. You keep Tellez. You keep Scott. You keep Fred. You keep Bruno. You keep Elanga. Sancho. You keep Elanga. Pogba can go. Off the bench, Rashford can go. Lingard can go. Matic can go. Matic can go. Jones can go. Boye can go. So even when you're going to the bench, and you're going, we need to change this up. We need to do something here. What have we got to change it up with? There's no striker.
Gary Neville said that today at I don't know whether it was just at half time or towards the end. He says they looked at that bench and went, there wasn't a whole lot you could change.
Nothing.
He said 2 changes.
Couldn't change their fucking socks off that bench.
He could have brought Mata on, might have been the only one, but it wasn't good enough. Simple as that. Like we were combative for 45 minutes at best. And
once the third goal went in,
to be fair to Pep, when you could see him saying to Grealish, and he must have had it down to a T, because he had Grealish and Bernardo Silva coming down that right hand side.
And Foden was even coming down. It was
And
on the
Foden-
left, it was our
Foden,
right hand side.
Yeah.
They kept playing little triangles on the corner of the 18-yard box.
And
But they knew Aaron
that's
Wan-Bissaka
how they got
couldn't
the
defend.
first goal.
And they were dragging Alanga back as well to try and cope with it as well. So yeah, it was just from Pep's
And then
point of
when
view,
we-
it was a masterclass.
And then when we
really,
moved on the bounce, you're putting the ball into a space where you want Alanga to be, and he wasn't there because he's having to double up and help the other boy at right back.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka is as good as a one-on-one tackler he is. He's defensively inept. His positioning is worse than mine. Do you know what I mean?
And as you said, he doesn't look like he gives a fuck.
No, not
Like,
a care.
he's gonna go home tonight.
He got up and he
he-
was
he-
smiling coming off the pitch.
Yeah.
No, there
High
was a lot
fiving his
of-
mates and all. All right, bruv. All right,
like,
bruv.
the one that I would say,
Fucking knock the cunt out.
it showed Bruno going and obviously talking to Cancelo, and Bruno looked generally frustrated. And he looks like that all the time because he looks like a moany cunt anyway.
Or my personal favourite was when Cancelo did the step over at the corner flag, and McTominay was beside me. He just looked at me, fucking cunt. Letting him know. Don't keep that up. I don't give a fuck if it's 4-1 or not. Do it again and you're getting a fucking slap. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
But
the only thing is, I suppose it's a bit late at 4-1, isn't it, to be acting the
Doesn't
big
matter.
balls really when
It's not though.
that
It's
stage, you know?
but it's laying a
Generally doesn't
marker down to everyone else and go, do you know what? We can't accept this.
But
We can't
everyone
accept
else,
these
but
boys
everyone else there on that pitch ain't going to do that with him. You'll get
Yeah,
that
but
out of
if-
him.
if
You'll get it out of Bruno. Where else
but-
are you going to get it
But
out?
don't
of?
forget, if one cunt doesn't do it, no one else is going to do it. If he decides to fall in line with the rest of the wasters, how do you break yourself out of that fucking mold?
When you think about that though, right? When you look back at the early 90s when United brought Cantona, he was the one that changed the team. It took one player to get a team going. Now, I don't think Scott McTominay is the player to get the team going.
No, but he has that heart that you
It-
want.
And
it-
it's an
has to
environment thing. If you come into that environment and that's the bare minimum, that's what's expected to fucking respect that badge, to play for that badge. If guys
Like,
come in and they go, we're not just here for fucking $5 bills. We're here because we're here to play with this fucking jersey. And when you walk in the door, someone is telling you that, you know?
McTominay should walk into that dressing room there and have a right fucking pop at Harry Maguire tonight.
No, they all
Pogba.
should do fucking.
Pogba, drop him. Just drop him.
I thought,
Like,
I thought Pogba played okay today, right? Maguire was the worst player on the pitch.
by a
by a
long
mile.
shot. Yeah, by a long
Right.
shot.
If like Scott McTominay wants to be that character in the dressing room, that's fine, right? It's always kind of come from the midfield. You look at Keane for United, you look at Robson, you look at Gerrard for Liverpool. It's always kind of coming from there, right? Your captain, or if you have that player as your goalkeeper, apart from Oliver Kahn, there wasn't many that did that had come flying out. Do you know what I mean? Schmeichel maybe, right? Your centre backs, if it's your strikers not doing it, are less likely to come all the way up to the front to be fucking in their face. So someone in the middle of the park should be the one to do it. Whether you're the captain or whether you're just a player that wants to play for the badge. If he wants to go in and grab Harry Maguire by the scruff of the neck, I don't think any player in that dressing room is going to stop him.
Well, I suppose looking at City today as well, lads, you wouldn't even know today the way they played who was captain. Because
They played
there's
a training game.
11 captains, and the second half was really like roundhouse and stuff like that. It was just possession and turned up a serious notch and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Was it 20 minutes? They had 93% possession.
Yeah,
after
92, yeah.
After
Yeah,
that
for
third
15
goal,
minutes. 15 minutes in the second half, United had 8% possession in a
But
derby for
that-
15 minutes.
That's after the third goal, the tools were down. Like, and Neville was saying it on commentary. He was like, the boys haven't got the heart, they haven't got the desire, and that's what I was saying earlier. If we were 3-2 down under Fergie, there's no way anyone was down in the tools like that. We were still going to battle, even if we were 4-1 down with 10 minutes to go. They'd still have been battling. They'd still have been fucking hunting down that ball, and it wasn't happening here. To answer your question from earlier, Niall, like, what do we do? I think there's a few young players coming through, like, and I think we have to maybe take the risk on them because the big marquee signings aren't happening, and players that do have the talent and the desire probably aren't really going to want to come in. I think you've got, and I don't know, some people aren't a huge fan of him, but the boy Brandon Williams, I think he's a great fucking little player. and he can play left or right back. So I'd maybe give him a shot at right
He should
back.
absolutely be in the squad, 100%.
Give him a
He's been
shot at
Norwich's
right back.
player of the year, lad, or player of the month.
And plus, and I only spoke about it yesterday. Actually, he's exactly what you want from a footballer. He's a spiteful little cunt.
Yeah.
He is one spiteful little bastard.
I seen it yesterday. He was about to strangle Christensen, and then he realised it
Christian
was.
Eriksen.
Christian
Eriksen.
Eriksen.
A great moment, actually.
Yeah, Christian
And,
Eriksen.
you know,
And then he hugged and says, "Oh shit, it's you." Sorry.
And when they got up off the ground, Eriksen was purple as if to say, "Fucking hell, man! If you're gonna hit me, just hit me. Like, don't not hit me."
I seen him just walking off, going, "Jesus." He just.
He looked like he was going to kill him, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was saying this before we sent them out on loan. Now, and he did need to go out on loan because he needed the game time, right? And he needed to get up to speed. But I was saying it before. I think he's going to be a solid like left or right back for us going forward. I think what's the young lad's name? He's down in. I think he's playing in the championship at that moment.
James Garner.
James Garner. I think get Garner in. Like, you know, he's not that super aggressive player, but he's a technical little.
He looks like Carrick in a way.
Yeah, he's a defensive little midfielder, and he's technical. He's smart. Get him in.
When fit, the boy T-Hat Chong has looked very good at Birmingham.
Now he didn't look great when we played him, but he needed a chance and he wasn't getting a full run out in the team. So give him a chance. I think we need to do that. And listen, if they don't step up, you didn't spend fucking massive bucks on them. Go out and, you know, I still do think we probably need to make a big sign because we definitely need some fucking forwards. Listen, Ronaldo's not going to do it.
We'll need a striker.
Cavani's gone. We need at least one striker up there.
One striker. Stop, will you? If we don't get two strikers in the summer, we're fucking pissing the wind again next season.
I'm saying we need at least
Cavani
and one. Yeah.
Because we need the bare minimum we need is two. Because Ronaldo and Cavani aren't both worth a wank. They have to go.
Well, it's not only that. I mean, if this ends
up up there,
Elanga's not a striker though. Elanga's a winger. He's not going to play as a striker like he's not clinical enough. He's not big enough. He can't hold the ball up enough. Yeah. Martial can get fucked as well.
No, but
he shouldn't even bother getting the fucking.
Back to that issue where if you play Elanga up front or Rashford, they're not strikers.
No.
Did I read the other day from Sevilla that they're saying they won't be keeping Martial?
What do you mean? Did you read? I sent you the fucking message.
Oh, you said was it you sent it to me? Yeah. Oh, you said that and you circled it, didn't you? Yeah.
The clipping actually read, if we won the Euro Millions, we wouldn't buy him.
Yeah,
that's how fucking bad they think of him.
I suppose, Ted, your point, Ted, is valid in terms of bringing in some of that youth and stuff like that, and players that are out on loan and stuff like that, bringing them back in. But you still fundamentally have to fix the structure and the spine of the team. You can't expect even Hannibal on the bench to be coming onto the pitch and looking to Harry Maguire as his captain.
No, and that's the thing. I as Darren said earlier, Maguire needs to go. He's definitely not a fucking captain. And listen, the English media can hype this boy up, right? When we're taking corners, the person we aim for is Maguire. The cunt can't hit the target with the fucking head, like with a header, let alone fucking score one. Like, you know, this is the English media hype him up. Get rid of the English nationality off and put any other nationality in the world on him. The English media aren't talking about how good he is or how great he is, and they'd be fucking lambasting him. And Keane was fucking at him the whole thing here, like at half time, and so was Micah Richards. Two of them were like, this man is just not good enough to be at United. And they're right, he's not. He wasn't good enough to be at Leicester.
He's generally no better than your man Soyuncu.
I'd have Soyuncu ahead of him, to be honest, at this point. Like,
fucking donkeys.
Yeah,
and that's right. He's no better than him.
I'd have Soyuncu ahead of Maguire though, because Maguire has just been so bad, and he seems to have this very high opinion of himself. But like, as I said, the second goal he steps over the ball and it fucking goes in. The first goal, he's fucking nowhere to be seen either.
He got nutmegged.
Yeah, and then the third goal, I don't really know what's going on. That ball gets pinged out to fucking Mahrez, and I said to Greg, look at the two players running at him. One is I think one's Elanga and one is who's an attacking player.
Maguire.
And the other one's Maguire, who's meant to be our fucking captain and a centre back. Neither of them are out like in any way quick enough.
To be fair to Maguire with that, he got a block on the ball, just not enough.
Yeah, but he should have been out closer. Like when that ball got pinged out there, he should have already been on his starting blocks to get out there. No, that ball was clearly with the.
He's not the player that goes out to that. It should have been either Langa or Fred or someone.
Yeah, but also they packed the 6-yard box because they wanted to keep him in there. Because they wanted to make it look like they were going to pump the ball into the 6-yard box. So they had Rodri, they had all the boys. and he just flighted the ball. So they did catch us off guard. It's a well-taken goal, in fairness to him. Like,
No,
and
you
the
can't really call him out on that.
The technique was
but you need to be out
unbelievable
quicker.
as well.
It
It
was
is, but
very
you need to
similar
be
to,
out
remember
quicker.
Robin's goal for Bayern Munich against us in the Champions League a couple of years ago.
No, it is, but you need to be out quicker. Like you can see it, the ball
Yeah,
is
but
already.
It's not
Mahrez is
Maguire
already-
that's due to go out
But
there.
you're talking as well, Ted. You're talking split seconds on that thing as well. Like if you look at the timing between that ball floating over and Mahrez pumping that in the back of the net, you're talking seconds.
And
me
whoever-
and Darren have spoke about it loads of times. The difference between brilliant and awful is minute. It's seconds in the difference.
But you think that hit Harry Maguire in the hip or whatever it hit him? The thing.
The shin
If
pad.
he got another fucking half a centimeter or 2 centimeters on that, it stops it going in. Do you know what I mean?
And looks like
That's
a
my
great
point.
block. And looks like a great block.
That's my point though. But like Mahrez has already taken the ball down before Maguire's moved from the position he was
He
in.
doesn't take it
He
down.
didn't take
Bang
it
the
down.
first
One
time.
touch.
Bang the first time. That's what I was talking about, the technique.
Yeah.
Side-footed it, I
And
think it was.
side-footed it from
It's
20 yards while it
unbelievable.
was popping down out of the air.
I don't know. I think he should be out quicker. And if you're going to be the captain of the club,
He's got to defend inside the 6-yard box against the centre backs. It's not him going to be on the D.
but he's not
It's gonna
marking
be
a
one of
centre back either.
He has to mark a centre back because they're
But he's
coming up for
not.
the corner. But
That's
that's
my
what
point,
his
he's
job
not.
is.
Yeah, but he
That's what his
wasn't.
job. No, when the ball gets hit, he's not going to make it from the fucking 6-yard box out
Out
to
there.
the D because he's
But he-
hemmed in.
And in fairness to him, he nearly made it. In
Stones.
fairness to him.
No, but
Like,
my
you're
point is
talking about getting that much more of the ball and it doesn't go in.
he wasn't marking a centre back, is what I'm saying.
He was
on
marking
the
a
back
centre
stick.
back when the corner was struck.
No, he was at the back post.
So what do you think he was doing at the back post?
There wasn't a centre.
He was
back at
waiting on the
back post.
fucking bus, like.
Well, it
The
looks like
centre
it
back
has-
in the 6-yard box. He's looking to try and get a jump at it. Like
I d-
the ball
yeah,
is
maybe,
hit. He
but-
has to be in there because
He was assuming that ball was coming in on the head and going back post.
Well,
and
he
the
made
ball-
the
and
assumption
the
based
ball-
on the fact that City
yeah.
put all their biggest players.
Absolutely.
Into the
And the
6-yard box.
ball was sprayed out to Mahrez on the 18-yard line.
Greg is after telling you if anyone's going to get that ball, it's going to be one of the smaller, nippier lads because they're the ones that tend to play on the D, not the centre backs.
we had
when the
not
6'4s
got
are in the
one
6-yard
player.
box.
Not one player was standing on the edge of the box. Not one.
Yeah, and in fairness as well, probably not one player even spotted Mahrez, to be honest, because he just
But
kind of ghosted in a bit as well.
If
He
you
arrived
watch that
very
video,
late.
yeah, if you watch that video, he comes from somewhere like 18 or 19 yards outside the box and he just starts walking up.
And
then
literally
all of a
he arrives at the same time as the ball hitting the ground
Yeah.
and hits it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
It's a
incredible.
piece of brilliance.
That there is going to win goal of the month, I'd say.
Yeah, in terms of top four, lads, where does this leave you at the moment in
Gone.
terms of top four?
Gone.
Like, I know Arsenal have a bunch of games in hand, but I mean, you look at the game in hands that they have. You wouldn't be expecting Arsenal to take a huge amount of points out of them.
I
either.
said that to Ted, the pub, and he made a very valid point. We still have to play them as well. I mean, Arsenal
We used to play Spurs next weekend, and we used to play Arsenal, and we used to play Chelsea and Liverpool
Arsenal
all
are
before
beating
the end of the season.
Yeah, like Arsenal's
Arsenal
three
are
games in
beating
hands
them.
are the
We're
fucking
not.
boys at the bottom of the table is the way you have to look at it. You can't look at it as, well, they have games in hands and one of them City. Nah. Their games in hands are the boys at the bottom of the table because you have to assume that they're the lads going to get the whipping and Arsenal are getting the 3 points off them.
Well, the Arsenal game in hands, Ted, is actually it's Spurs, Leicester, and Liverpool.
I thought it was
That's their actual games in hand.
I know
thought
that's
City
the
was-
actual games in hand, but you have to look at it that, you know, there's other games that we've played against boys that are bottom of the table and we took nothing against and they haven't played them yet. So you have to look at it that they have those
They
ones. in
might have
hand as
played
well.
them.
Yeah,
I'm saying they haven't played them. We're 28 games in, like,
Yeah, possibly.
and we all played the same. We played the same 19 teams twice.
Yeah, but you have to look at it that way. That like if there's weaker teams they haven't played, those are the ones you have to think of as the 3 games in hand.
But you, Ted, will also have weeks where you'll play weaker teams.
We will, yeah, but like
we're not winning them.
we're not win. Like,
But
that's
if I
the
look,
problem, we weren't beating them.
if I look on the face of the Arsenal games, like as far as I know, I think it's Spurs, ourselves, and Leicester. I think it is.
I thought it was City for some reason.
Well, I think they'll
No,
beat,
they've played City twice, haven't they?
I
thought the last game was called off because they had no team. Remember then, and then it got called off against Hughes in the cup.
Yeah.
I think they'll beat. I think they'll
Our
beat
biggest
Leicester
3
anyway.
games we have, our biggest 3 games we have left are the 3 teams around us. We've got Arsenal, Spurs, and Chelsea. If we win them 3 games, we've a chance. If we don't, we've no fucking chance. End of.
Now, if you look, I suppose the other question for you guys as well, if you look at the mammoth job ahead for United in terms of a rebuild and all that kind of stuff, and I don't want to kind of go off topic really. Does a season out of the Champions League, I know obviously having Champions League football is always the attractive thing in terms of bringing in players.
It doesn't help you if you've got Thursday nights.
Yeah, if you're not going to be in the Champions League, you may as well come 7
I'd prefer to be 8 and be fucking playing one game a week, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Arsenal, and be able to get a run of it.
Okay, so this is fourth or bust, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I prefer, if I'm in the Europa League, I prefer to go and win it, but I prefer to not play Thursday.
But winning the Europa League is going to mean it's going to impact massively on your Premier League games.
No, that's what I mean. But like, I prefer to not be playing fucking Thursday night, Sunday night for the next fucking 9 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you don't want to be in it at all.
No, that's what I mean. But if we're not going to drop the 8th place, I don't think. I hope.
I don't know. I think tactically you could drop the 8 if you felt like it.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, ideally, you're going to finish either in the Europa Conference or you're going to finish in the Europa League, right?
I think, realistically, we're going to be playing some sort of European football, and I think that has to be accepted. And it needs to be Champions League or bust, really.
Tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see him send Ronaldo, Maguire, Pogba, Lingard, Rashford. Tell them they can have an extended holiday, right? And I'd like to see him bring in Hannibal, bring in Shola Thierry, bring in the boy Mellor, see if they can get Garner back from his loan, right? And let them play the games. The next
even bring in Charlie Savage and let him play.
Right? The boy Iqbal, Zidane Iqbal, let them come in. Let them play the games between now and the end of the season. See which of them are going to be, are going to be any use to us, if any use in the Premier League next season, so that you've a 10-game bounce and give away the fact that if this doesn't work out for us, we may end up outside of the top 8, but at least when we have a go at it next year, we've got 1 game a week.
Yeah, you've a bigger understanding of where you're coming from as well, because you've had the litmus test, you've tested it already.
There's no point in us going into the summer then trying to get a new gaffer in and then trying to blood these 6 or 8 young lads as well as rebuilding a squad. It's not going to work.
According, I know it's only paper talk, but according to the back of the Sunday Times and all, it looks like Ten Hag is all but signed on now.
That's who I'd like to see.
Believable the paper is one thing, but like as a United fan, and I know a lot of United fans want Ten Hag in. I don't know what you think, Darren.
Yeah, he's absolutely my first choice.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm just having a leak.
I think he's everybody's kind of first choice, really.
Absolutely first choice.
It looks as if United have moved away from the Pochettino idea. I know he's leaving PSG.
It helps that he's having a fucking stinker, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's a butler.
Yeah.
It helps that he's having a stinker.
Is he really having a stinker? Is he not top of the league in the cup final? I know
with £1 billion worth of players.
No, you can only win what you're in, and if he wins off 3 trophies and does well in the Champions League, how is that bottling it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the Real Madrid game is going to be pivotal, isn't it?
Some of the best teams in the world haven't won the Champions League.
I'd like to see what he wins at the end of the season.
Well, he has the league. The league is more or less wrapped up, isn't it? I mean,
I know, but let's be
25
honest,
points ahead.
Yeah, but we could win the fucking French league with PSG, lads. Let's not
the test for him is the Champions League, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
No, but that's fine. The league is whatever it is, right? Has he not won? He won one of the cups already before Christmas.
But domestic stuff. The problem with PSG is that, listen, they're in a league where they're fucking, they've so much money, and the competitiveness of the league is like, the Premier League, there's a lot of money in the Premier League. There's no denying that. But the competitiveness of the actual lower teams, the
better teams, the lower teams in England are better.
Well, in fairness, lower level French teams this season have put it up to PSG, so I wouldn't assume that either. If you look at the Premier League,
I'd say
me and Darren have alluded to this already. If Liverpool hadn't got a card in the game at the moment, the Premier League would look like the French league. Let's be honest.
No, it would, but it's hard.
I think that's harsh.
I think
that's harsh.
The lower teams have put
I think it is.
I think
the lower teams have put it up to PSG, but I think that shows the management of PSG.
Yeah,
look at the team. Those lower teams should not be putting it up to PSG at all.
I think if you put the Premier League, what is it? Many teams are in the French league. 18. If you took 18-1 in the Premier League against 18-1 in the French league, I'd say you'll probably win 14-4. The Premier League would.
Yeah,
PSG.
but you're talking about a different level of wealth as well in terms. I mean, if you park PSG and the wealth that they have, there's a lot more money in the Premier League, even for those lower
But
teams.
there's a reason
compared to the French.
Yeah, no, there is. But if you pop a Klopp or fucking Pep into that PSG team, do you think those lower level teams are putting it up to PSG with those two boys at the helm?
They'll always still put it up, Ted. I mean, look, hang
on.
Southampton, hang on. They will put it up to a point, Darren. Of course they will. You look at the Premier League. Spurs beat Man City 2 weeks ago, and then they came out and they got pumped. Who did they get pumped by? Did they get beaten by Burnley or something like that? Or drew with Burnley or something? Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
I think Spurs aren't a great example on that.
Yeah, but prior to that, Southampton drew with them.
Yeah, but Southampton have got a really good result against
But that's what I mean. When you play against the bigger side, when you play against the bigger sides and stuff like that, you're always going to try and raise your game slightly. Now, you won't always get the result, but you'll always raise your game somewhat.
Or Klopp when Claremont foot come to the fucking Parc des Princes, not on your fucking Nelly, not with the squad they have. Pochettino is underperforming with the squad he has at PSG.
Messi has
Darren, Liverpool went to Brentford earlier in the season. They drew 3-3 with Klopp at the helm. Liverpool went to the City of London Stadium against West Ham. They got beaten 3-2.
Yeah, but they were individual games.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But if you look, no, it's not every week because they're nearly 25 points ahead or something in the league already, and it's.
But that'll show you underneath. Everyone beats everyone else. They're all of a similar standard.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is when a lower level team in the French league rocks up to play PSG in that stadium, every game that every team plays there, if they feel like it's like a cup final, so they're going to raise their game.
They are.
They're going to try, but if you have someone fucking decent at the helm,
but what I'm saying, Darren, is I'm not saying you'll always get the result. I'm not saying that the bigger team will always fall flat in its face, but I'm saying you will play above your weekly standard when you go against that team.
And do you not think that happens when teams come to Liverpool?
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. And I'm not saying they don't get the results, but what I'm saying is it still happens. The West Ham team that played Liverpool at the weekend, they're just gone. They gave us a real good game and gave us a real good scare.
Yeah, they did.
They're a much better team than anything that's underneath PSG. Yeah, because at the moment they're in a top 5, top 6, or whatever it is. The job that Moyes has done there has been unbelievable. I get that. But what I'm saying is if you look at that West Ham team has been dropping results recently. And then they rock up to Anfield and they put the fear of God in me yesterday. We jocks were nearly brown looking at the last 10 minutes.
They did, but if that West Ham team rocks up to PSG, right? If these lower level teams with fucking, no money are putting it up to PSG, and listen, you've got PSG. Look at the fucking squad PSG have.
Yeah, but Ted, we just had a conversation here about players that are talented and players who want to go on the pitch and have a go. And that's what happens. If you get a player who goes onto the pitch and wants to give Messi a slap around the head and a clatter and go in hard on him and stuff like that and make him feel uncomfortable on the pitch, you may just get a result. And that's often what happens.
No, you don't want most players that go onto a pitch with Messi don't try and do that. You want to hug him and swap fucking jerseys with.
But I'm saying if you put Pep or Klopp in as the manager on that PSG team, I think they're going out and they are spanking that league. It doesn't matter if the boys come out and put it up to them. They're going out there and they're spanking it, and it's over halfway through the season. That's the end of it.
Yeah, but the thing about it, but Ted, it's a different situation because if you look at that PSG team, right? If Klopp is at the helm of that PSG team or Pep is at the helm of that PSG team, you're not necessarily getting in that personnel that's there. It's very different personnel coming in there. If Klopp is managing PSG last summer, Messi isn't coming in there. If he's in control, Poch is only a puppet for the board. Let's be honest.
Messi was 100% going to PSG.
Exactly. But that's the point. But I'm saying that's why Klopp wouldn't be there. And if he was there, he would be deciding who's going in there. He wouldn't be there.
Are you trying to tell me that last summer Klopp is in charge of PSG, and Caldeon goes off? Not Caldeon, the other lad goes off and says, "I'm going to get you Messi." You think Klopp says no?
I don't think he'd have any part of it.
Get fucked.
I don't think he'd have any part. I don't. Look at the work. Look at the work that he puts in on personnel. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
No, but my point isn't even about an individual player like Messi.
Look at the players. Look at the players we've been linked with. Darren, it was only 3 months ago we were linked with Pogba.
Yeah, but who linked you with Pogba?
It was all over the press. We were linked with Pogba.
No, it
Apparently, there was a
wasn't
conversation. It
all over the
was.
press.
Darren,
on
it was
some
there. You
Liverpool
can't
fucking
deny it.
thread
It wasn't on a
buried on the
Liverpool
dark
thread.
web,
It
man.
wasn't on a Liverpool thread.
Will you
There's
stop?
no way that's happening,
Jesus
Darren.
Christ.
There's no way he's letting that hassle come through the door and having to deal with it because those guys are unmanageable. You've seen
He
it with
is
Ronaldo with
fucking-
United.
He is
Unmanageable.
licking his chops at the thought of fucking Messi coming into that French
not
league.
not
Yes,
a,
he is. Will you
No,
stop
he's
the
not.
lights?
But my
There was
point is,
not, I'm sorry, but there was not a team in this world. If Messi had said he was going to Liverpool, Klopp would have jumped on it. There's not a,
I don't think so, lads. I think you're
there's
wrong.
not a
He's
manager
right.
on this planet.
it's
Will you
There's not
stop?
a manager on this planet that would have said no.
Greg, the one thing that comes out of Liverpool all the time, he has a profile of player that he wants, and he insists on that profile of player all the time.
I don't care if you have a profile.
You think Messi at the moment, with all the shit that's going down and everything that went down at Barca and how he left there and everything that was going on, you think that's the profile of player that would walk into Liverpool this summer with Klopp at the helm? Are you crazy?
I generally don't. I don't care who or what the team is. If you're given the chance to sign arguably the best player of all time,
It's not even an argument.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Darren,
well,
it's
there are
not.
people
There
that
are
will. There are people that will argue with
someone
it.
argue on your side?
Huh?
Did you say someone would argue on your side?
Well, I'm arguing it.
That
You
he's
don't
not the
think
best
he's
of all
player
time?
of all time.
That Messi's not the best of all time.
Yeah.
I think Ronaldo's the best of all time.
Stop watching football, pal. You
Well,
should give
that's-
it up and play cricket or something.
Well, maybe I should then, but I think Ronaldo, for me, Ronaldo, I think is the best of all time. I think, from my point of view, I think he's.
door,
But that's not. Listen, football's based on opinion.
No, like, and listen, I'm not disagreeing. Like, I'd be with Darren. I think Messi's better than Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo has a bigger work rate, which has got him to where he is. But my point was that if you had Pep or Klopp in over that fucking PSG team, right, you're looking at, like, they're walking away with that league, and that's the difference between.
They're walking away with the league anyway, Ted.
They are, to an extent. I think that league's wrapped up by Christmas with fucking one of them at the helm, and that's my
Ted,
point.
it was
Poch
wrapped
isn't
up
that
at
fucking-
Christmas. They're 25 points ahead before March.
Yeah, but
It's
Poch
wrapped
isn't-
up.
Yeah, but Poch isn't that, that top tier manager. Like, that was my point. United, I didn't want him at United because I think he's
so he
a
can-
bottler. Like,
Just so we can clarify it, they're 12 points clear. Just checked.
Okay. Well, whatever it
You're
was.
so
But
country.
well, there,
Just because you were
Okay.
going off on a tangent there. Just
well,
wanted to-
with all due respect in the French league, 12 points may as well be 30 fucking points. Let's be
yeah,
honest. here.
but
But
they're
that's the
only
point.
12 points clear. That's
Yeah,
our
but
point.
that's
They're
the
only 12
point,
points
like,
clear.
Only
If
12 points
Pochettino-
clear.
I
Fucking
couldn't care
City
less.
are bleeding
I couldn't
6
care
clear in
less.
a decent
I
league.
couldn't care less if you're only
Mitch?
12 points clear. I wouldn't care less if
City
it
are
was
6
fucking
points
1
clear
point
in a decent league.
Well,
That's what I
there's
said.
6
I couldn't
points,
care
6
less.
points, and Liverpool have a game in hand.
It
You
doesn't
couldn't
matter
care
who
less
points clear.
if you were only 1 point clear at the end of the season. So I mean, winning the league is winning the league. Whether you win it by 1 point, whether you win it on goal difference, doesn't matter when you win it.
no, but we're
Pochettino
talking.
wins the league. It doesn't matter.
But does that make Pochettino a better manager if he manages to win the fucking French league by 1 point? Do you think that talks volumes about how great a manager he is? No, it fucking doesn't.
Does it? Fuck. He bottled it last season and lost the fucking thing to Lille. And you've seen how bad they were. Even a shit Chelsea took them over.
Like, that's my point. That was my point really in the whole thing, that I just don't think Poch is the one. When there was talk of Poch coming in, I was like, nah, that man's a fucking bottler. Like,
Well, we didn't need him to go to the French league to know that, did we?
no, we didn't, and that was my
Well,
point.
you've
Like,
just
I didn't
argued
want
that
him.
he fucking wasn't like.
No, I didn't argue. I wasn't arguing for Poch to go to United.
No, but you've argued how the French league was so good and all. Like,
I didn't
And that
argue how
fucking-
the French
they're
league was so good. I
25
turned
points
around
clear.
and I said
Actually,
when
they're
a
not, they're
team.
12.
No, I didn't. I turned around and I said when a team rocks up to play PSG in their stadium, that it's like a cup final for each of those teams, and they raised their game.
Yeah, but
That's
two
the
or
point
three
about it.
teams like
There
that in
wasn't any
every country.
reflection on Poch. Ted was talking about Poch, not me.
But there's 2 or 3 teams like that in every country. So, like, do you not think that fucking the bottom of the league team, when they go to Anfield, Old Trafford, fucking and maybe fucking Stamford Bridge, we can't say the empty head because there's no fans there to watch the game anyway. So, like,
Well, there was a good few fans there today.
There were
Was there?
cardboard cutouts.
Yeah.
A lot of
the
cardboard
plastic
cutouts
ones came
there.
on. Right,
Well,
okay.
maybe they did, but there was a good few fans there today. It wasn't exactly empty, was it?
Have you seen it week to week?
No, I haven't seen it week to week,
All right.
but it was busy
Okay.
today.
It was busy today. Fair
Yeah.
play to them. They managed to get a few people in the door for the Manchester Derby.
United
That's
managed to
fucking
draw on a
brilliant.
crowd. Fair play to us.
But anyway, it's
Lads.
over.
Mm.
It's done.
In terms of ratings, do we need to go through the ratings, or is the
I think we should, and we'll see where we get.
right? Go on. We'll start David De Gea. Then.
Of 4% battery at my go, just throwing it out there.
No, bollocks.
David De Gea, I'll give him a 6.
7 for me.
I'd have said 7. Yeah, I think
3 or
without
4
him,
great saves.
Without him,
Yeah.
it's a cricket score. I think.
Absolutely. Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
The only thing I'll say about
3.
De Gea is I don't think any of them are saves, other than maybe the one that they score from, the second goal that you don't expect them to make.
No, the one from Kevin De Bruyne,
Cancelo.
the low hand.
The Cancelo shot.
The
The one from
Cancelo.
Cancelo, you expect him to save.
Doesn't matter. He
Good
still has to
save.
save it.
Yeah, but-
He made 3 or 4 low
It's like talking to the
saves.
wall tonight, lads. What the fuck?
He
Jeez.
made 3 or 4.
It wasn't a good save.
But it's not a save. I don't expect him to save. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, but he still
Like,
has to do it.
I still have to take a goal, fucking kick. You're going to give me a 7 out of 10 for that?
Yes,
No, 'cause-
sir. If you hit your man every time, it will.
Sweet Jesus. Like, this is again, we're accepting of mediocrity. Where are we setting the bar here, lads? Oh, well, he caught the ball twice. Let's give him a 7.
I don't think the way the season has panned out for United, you would be describing David De Gea as mediocrity, would you?
Well, he's our best player by a country mile. But you know that because I say it every week and I said he should have had the captaincy. So,
Yeah.
like, why would you go in that direction with it?
No, I'd have given him a 7 today.
Well,
anyway.
you're talking about rating him based on the obvious. I'm talking
No,
about
I'm
rating him
talking
on the
about-
job he has to do.
I'm rating him on what he did today, not on what he's done for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
if someone has a
absolutely.
bad game, they have a bad game. Like,
Well, actually,
But I don't
when
think.
you think
Do you
about that, I
think
could
any
kind
of
of
the goals
see
they scored, do you think he could stop?
the last one, maybe. The last
possibly
hit
the
him
last
in
one.
The last
You
one hits
know,
him in
and-
the mush. I mean, there's not much more. The poor cunt gets it in the
Yeah,
fucking
but
mush.
also don't forget he coughed the ball up for the last one because his kick went straight to the fucking seat.
Yeah,
players.
6
Yeah.
might be fair. 6 might be
Thanks.
fair. Yeah. Sorry,
Right,
Darren.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka,
2.
2,
Yeah.
Victor Lindelof.
5,
Yeah,
good
probably
show.
5. Yeah.
4 or 5.
Hardy
Here we
Maguire.
go. 1.
-1.
Actually, can we go lower than a 1?
No, 0.
Darren went -1.
Minus.
Oh, I know we went -1, but in general, though.
Assuming you can't go lower than the scale of 0, then 0. But if I can
0,
go
yeah.
lower, I'll go lower. Yeah.
Alex
I
Telles.
might give him a 1. He did have a good block in there somewhere.
Tell us 4,
Yeah. 4.
Yeah, 4,
Fred.
5,
5,
Yeah. Scott McTominay.
5.
5.
I would have given Scott a 6. Elanga.
Yeah, but
4.
20 PSG were 25 points here in the league as well. So
Oh,
that's-
sorry if I got the numbers wrong. I didn't check out the French league before I came on, but like 12 points may as well be.
And
Oh,
it's not acting against Alanga either in that 4. It's just he was starved.
I think Elanga 5. Like I think he did what he could with what he was given. That's the best.
Yeah,
you
he
can
was
say,
kind of
like,
boxed out of it, really, wasn't he? Paul Pogba,
4.
I'd give him a 6.
6.
4.
2, Dirt. See you,
Mark.
pal. Enjoy Ryanair. Get the fuck out of here. Turn off the lights on your way out, you useless cunt.
Jadon Sancho,
6.
5.
5. Bar the goal didn't do a whole lot.
bar the goal. Bruno Fernandes,
4.
5.
5.
4.
Okay, interesting. That's it. I'm not gonna.
Can
I'm
I
not
give
gonna-
Rashford a rating?
Go on. You
Zero.
give Rashford, Lingard a
Are we
rating as well,
giving him
Zeros.
rating on what he got
Useless
for the
cunt.
kids, or are we giving him what he plays for football?
I don't
Which
care
one?
what he does. I'm sorry, I don't care what he does for kids, right?
Absolutely.
It's all well and good that he's feeding kids. Do your fucking job first before you go and feed fucking 300 starving kids. You're being paid to be a professional footballer. Go and do a job.
So, do you want to give him a rating?
0.
No.
Ew.
Oh, you don't want to give. You asked me to let you give him a rating. Now you don't want to give.
I just wanted to go on a rant about him because he's a fucking useless cunt. No, he'd have got a 0 off me.
And
Zero
do
for the
something
two
with your
boys.
poxy haircut as well, you stupid looking cunt.
I'm not sure that Lingard even touched the ball. To be honest, I think that's still debatable whether he did or not. So definitely a 0 for that poor fucker.
Okay, interesting. Well, lads, thanks for coming on for your match reaction and player ratings on the Stretford sessions. It was a pleasure.
It wasn't. You didn't enjoy any of that. Don't be lying.
I enjoyed
loved
every
it.
bit
We
of it. I
fucking
love
got
this
fucking-
shit, man.
We
I
got
love
fucking
this.
scolded out with a 4-1. He's loving life over there.
Remember what we were saying about Curson? Cunt, feck, bollocks, wanker.
Even in
And apparently,
isolation.
Klopp wouldn't have taken Messi. Get the fuck out of here.
You wait,
What
you
do
wait.
you think, Darren? There's your
He
He
That's
hashtag.
we
sold,
shall
he
see.
sold one of his fucking kids to get
Don't
Messi.
worry,
you
Darren.
mad
Don't worry,
bastard.
Darren. Don't worry, Darren. I'll clip it. Don't worry. It'll be clipped for TikTok. We'll see. Man, until next time, a pleasure. Cheers, lads.
Look.